So I'm going to give you a quick overview of Meeting Bloom's tools and the admin system of it, and how the registration side of this interacts with the abstract submission side. Mainly we do this so that you can have communications with your abstract submissions to your registration portal. A big benefit of this is say you get 500 abstracts submitted, then you need to communicate with your accepted abstracts that they need to register now. So you'll be able to send a mass email to your abstract submitters through the system to tell them to register now, and it'll give them a registration link to use. And what that does, it'll tie the registration to the abstract. And the reason why that's a big benefit is whenever you're trying to see if all your abstracts that are submitted are registered, it'll give you markers that say this person's not registered yet. So it kind of gives you good information on that, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But right now we're going to show you, the dashboard of the system. And the dashboard, you have your company dashboard. This section here, you can add whatever you want in here. And a lot of clients, they'll add MailChimp links and other links that they need to remember, like Canva. And you can just click on the edit, and you can add whatever links you want here, hit save. And the nice thing about this is if you have one conference or 100 conferences, or you're sharing this system across, your entire corporation, and you have, 50 conference managers, they can all access the same dashboard, and it just makes it, simpler for people to communicate and find things. So now we have registration overview, and if you just use the tools for abstracts, you won't get this part, but if you're using it for registration and abstracts, you automatically get the registration overview. Now these are example data, so you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt on this. So regular registration, these are two registration types we created, and you can create as many as you want and name them however you need to. And you can have membership verification in here too. So you can set in-stock amounts, and then you'll see your sold counts and your sold total, and then you can set goals like 150 registrations, and this will tell you how close you are to your goal. Now the abstract overview is kind of the same thing. You'll have your abstracts that are complete and registration complete, which there's 9 of them, and abstract complete and not registered yet. So you still have 4 people on this example test site that still need to register. And then you can see your rejected people. And then right here you can see a percentage of how many abstracts have completed the registration process. Now down here on the dashboard, you get an overview of the progress of your conference. So you can see the registration counts, and these are weeks out to the conference start date. That's what this is right here. And you can see the progress of how your registration is going to weeks out of your conference. And then you can see the abstract count, and same thing, it's weeks out. You can see your abstract submission processing count here. And what this here is, if you have a year-over-year meeting, so you had a conference in 2020 and 2021, 2022, 2023, you can click on these to compare year-over-year data to see how each year the conference is doing, if it's doing better in one year, how many weeks out it was doing really good at. So kind of gives you a good information for this. And these are, again, you can change the types of reports, weekly or monthly, and this is months out. So logs are conference site specific. So you can go in here and create whatever logs you want. And what logs are good for is if you need to keep track of when you sent a mass email to someone, you can write a little log in here. On January 1st, I sent a mass email to everybody telling them to submit their abstracts. So this is just a nice place that you can keep your conference log at. Customer tab is exactly that. It's the customer information. So if I want to see abstracts submitted, I can go to abstracts. I want to see incomplete submissions, I can go here. And I want to see the registered people. So somebody calls up, they registered and they had a problem. You can go into the customer's record and, see the payment information, and you can, do extra charges or refunds all through this side of it. One thing you might have already noticed, this site is extremely fast. We have tons of servers. It's all cloud-based, Azure, Microsoft servers, and we make this thing as fast as possible. So you may have noticed that this site acts like a desktop application. Everything is click and it's done. There's no lag. You just click save and it's done. There's just no lag behind it. Reports are email customers and conference reports and accounting reports. So email customers are exactly that. I need to email all registrants, or I need to email all completed abstracts. Let's say I need to send an email to everybody completed the abstract. I can go here and you can see this one and this one is my only email templates that's available. This is by default so you don't accidentally send an incorrect email to your customer. So you click here and then you can modify or whatever you need to, and then send yourself a test email and then send it out to the clients. Now you can see this is the account that it's going to be sending it to. So it's just a nice way to not accidentally send an email to someone you don't want to. For example, rejected abstract. It only selects the template that's rejected abstracts. That way you don't accidentally send an email out. Now, these global templates, you can have global templates that are shared with one conference or 100 conferences, and you can have multiple global templates. So you can have, let's say, 3 global templates and you have 30 conferences. Let's say 20 conferences is using one global template and 5-year conferences is using another one, and so on. So you have unlimited ways to share these templates just in case you need a customized template. And what this does is it makes it so you don't have to have lots and lots of templates for 100 conferences. You can have, if you want, you can have one template sharing across all 100 conferences. And because of these word merges, you can have a unique feel of a template of an email, and it can be used across 100 conferences, and your conference attendees will never know it's a canned type of global templates. Now, if you do all registrants, then you get all these registration types of templates. So career development, you want to send an email out about career development or group activities. You have additional items for sale. You can send an email out to all your registrants that says, hey, we just added an excursion. So it's just a nice way to make sure that you don't accidentally send out an incorrect email to your customers. Now, conference reports. As you can see here, we use the same filter tool for both of these. This is so you don't have to learn 2 separate tools. You can learn one filtering tool for both of these types of things, because you're just filtering records for a report and you're just filtering records for emails. So you shouldn't have to learn 2 different systems for that. And same thing, you can say, I want to see all completed abstracts, and I want to see preferred session choice. See a pie chart, and these are downloadable. They're high resolution downloads, so you can use them for PowerPoints.
I also wanted to point out that you can actually access all of this data with Excel reports at the bottom, so you can still access everything here.
And another nice thing is these are customized questions. So you can have customized questions in the system, as many as you need, and then you can actually filter off of these customized questions. You can see here, these are dynamic questions here, and I can filter off of these that they submitted. Here's a, how did you hear about us? And 2 people said they heard from that. So it's just a nice way to have more filtering capabilities. And then because we don't know every single filtering capability that you need, there's always the flags. So we can have flags on these records, and you can flag customers, specific ones, for example, you need to email a certain group, you can put a flag 1 on that certain group, and then because they're flag 1, you'll be able to email those specific customers by filtering off of that flag. So it's just another way to make sure that we give you every capability to email these people. Now let's go to the program and poster list. Now, by the way, you can see there's a left side and then a right side. And the general rule is the left side is your conference information, anything that's been submitted to the conference, and the right side is a setup procedures. So any kind of registration site setup or abstract submission site setup, your conference website setup. So these are setup tools. And by the way, you do get a free conference website with this site. So I know this seems like a lot you get for $6 per submission, but our goal is to make it so you get a lot of tools. You shouldn't have to pay for these tools because, you know, I understand. I've come from 17 years working for the nonprofit world, and some of these budgets are pretty tight. So you shouldn't have to pay all this money for, you know, your conference when you should just have all the tools available right up front. And that's our goal. You get it all up front. And it's true. It puts an extra burden on us. We lose money the first year that we set up these conferences for you. And the goal is that, you know, we're going to lose money the first year. You're going to be a happy customer. And then the second year, you're going to be able to come through here and do it on your own. And we'll be able to make our small profits on the second year of the conference and third year. You know, so even though we're charging low amounts, we can still make a profit to keep everything going. So let's talk about program and posters. So program, you can, by the way, create your new list of programs, and you basically get a tool that you can add anything you want in here. I can add a new program item for this day, and we'll call it breakfast. And it's HTML, so you can do whatever you want, and you can set the sizing. So there's no limit to what you can or cannot have on your program. Add it, and there it's added. And once it's added, this will be a dynamic program that'll be on your conference website. So you can preview the program here, and you can see the program. Now you'll see here there's an abstract related to this one. This is a really neat feature about having the registration and your abstracts in one system. You can actually add a speaker's abstract to your program, and then from the conference website, they can securely log into the conference website with a password that they receive, and they can now access the abstract that a speaker submitted. So it's just another extra step to bring your customers, you know, a little more details for your conference. Now you can move these things around, and like I said, this is like a desktop application. The speed and the refresh rates, you can see, click, it just opens up. There's no lag. And add an extra abstract or add another abstract. Here's keywords you can add. So it just gives you a lot of customization capability. So let's go to a poster list. So a poster list is really, really cool because you can build a poster list and number them within, I think it's like 45 seconds. You go over here. Let's create one real quick. It'll only take a second. Create a new program or poster. We're going to call it, and say this conference starts 6/4/2024, 6/5/2024. And this is a abstract list, and we're going to call it my new poster list. And there's templates and examples here so that it'll help you out. Create, and here's the new list. Now you can say add multiple to the list, and let's say we want half the abstracts to be on the first day and half of the poster abstracts to be on the second day. So we can say check all, uncheck second half, add it to the first day. It's going to give you a warning. Now on the second day, we're going to say add multiple. We're going to add it to the second day, and add. So now we have the first list here and the second list here. We're going to number the posters. They're now numbered. And let's create a author index file. So click here, and there we go. Now we have an author index file, and you can see there author index, the authors, and which abstracts that they are tied to. So a real nice quick way to get an author index. If we need to create how to index posters, it gives you the information here. Open it in a new window, and here is some filters, and we'll go over this in a second too, but I'm just going to real quickly just create an abstract list document. And just like that, the entire abstract is created. It's through a Word document, so if you need to, you can edit the fonts or anything you need. Oh, and this is another thing. Our abstract submission portal, it allows Greek characters, it allows customized characters. You can allow images or not allow images. You can allow tables. You can allow HTML. And with today's conferences, you kind of want to allow your attendees to give you this kind of information. That way you can have a really nice dynamic abstract. Or you don't have to. It's up to you. And as you can see right here, the Greek characters are all allowed in the system. Just a really nice quick way to create a abstract list. And once right now it's hidden, you will say click to make visible. And now that it is visible, I can actually access this on the conference website. So it'll have a secured login, and then your attendees can see all the abstracts for your conference. Nice, easy way. You don't have to worry about setting things up. It automatically does it for you. Now let's go to abstracts. Abstract export tool. So this is the filters that you saw before. You can filter this abstract document that you're going to create as much as you want. You can have customized questions filtering, so you can filter off of a preferred session choice. And this is a custom question I created. You can create your own questions on here. And formatting types, I know how abstracts need to be formatted for a specific type, and we have every type of formatting capability for your abstracts. Automatically formats it, and it doesn't mess up your special characters. So it's a really nice little tool. And if there's some kind of formatting that we don't have, let us know. We can add it. It's not a problem. I think we covered everything, but there might be one we don't have. And then if you need custom details added to the abstract or the abstract related questions, you can add them also. Now over here on the right, this is mobile app exports. This gives you your Excel sheets that almost all your mobile apps would use. But really with our system, with the conference website built in, you don't really need a mobile app anymore, because our conference website has everything that a mobile app would do normally. It's just automatically on there. The features are built into it. So this is the review steps, and this will be another video, not this video, because there's a lot of steps involved with the review, creating the abstract bundles, the reviewer assignments, binding to the abstracts, emails to the reviewer, and then your scores. So, and you can see the status here. So you can see the status of your reviewers. But like I said, this is another video, because there's a lot of process involved with your reviewers, and we both know there's a lot involved with review process. So let's go to Task Manager. Task Manager is a free tool that we give you that basically gives you the capability to manage your conference's tasks, what's going on. You can say add a new task and say I need to email customers, or whatever you need to say, and you can add whatever you want here. If you have files that you need to access later on, you can do attachments, and you can do technically as many as you want, and then submit. And now email, I need to email customers, is a task in your taskbar. And then you can move it over to planning stage or whatever stage you need. And if it's complete, you just drag it over into your complete stage, and it's done. So it's just a nice way to maintain everything you're trying to think of during your conference. And also, if you have multiple people on your team, so let's say you have 100 conferences and you have 50 people on your company, and you need to communicate with each other. So you can add tasks for my group, and you can send a ticket to people in your group, and when you do that, it'll send it down here for everybody. So everybody in your company will see it down here as a task, and you assign it to the group that you want, and then they can access it here. And when it goes in here, there'll be a little tiny message thing that'll pop up here, and it'll kind of blink until somebody assigns it to themselves. And the reason why we don't assign it to a specific person is there may not be someone in your company at that time, and you want a task to be done quickly. So you send it to your group, and then your group can assign that task to themselves and complete the task. Now let's go to setup. Let's go to conference registration, and this is where all your conferences would be listed, and you would then say the setup, the main setup. So the initial setup, it's going to be a little overwhelming, but it won't be too bad because we're going to walk you through, and we're going to do a lot of the work ourselves to help this first process get done. So general information, general information for your conference. Here's the templates. Again, you only need to use one. You don't need to use a bunch. More general information, questions. Here's some additional questions you can ask your attendees. Abstract. This is the abstract submission setup site, and there's many ways to set up the submission. You can say you have to submit an abstract during registration. You can say this is a abstract submission site now and register later, or it's a abstract now and you have an option to register now if you want to. Many options for this, and then what kind of format you want. Abstract due dates, late breaking due dates. You don't have to have late breaking if you don't want to. If your abstracts have pricing, minimum DPI for images that are being uploaded. So there's a lot of requirements, and once you set this up, you're done. It just clones right over to the next year. You don't have to set this up ever again. So that's pretty nice about that. Word merge, agenda, program helper. Again, if you have someone that is going to be helping you out in the program and you don't want them accessing everything on your admin site, you can just create a program helper and they can help you with the program. Membership validation tools here. Room share. Now room share, we just have a little thing on the conference website. You don't have to use it, but it's a way that your attendees can see a list of people who want to share a room, and they can click on there and communicate with each other to be able to share a room and save costs of VAT tax if your conference is overseas, and extra email content. So if you're using your global templates and you have 50 conferences using one set of global templates, you can also have a customized part of your email in that template. For example, if you have one of your conferences uses VAT tax, then you can have VAT tax information here. So that's the setup, and then let's go to the welcome page. So the welcome page, again, you can have speaker access points or attendee access points, or you can just have everybody use one access point. The reason why speaker access points are nice is you can customize questions for your speakers and your attendees, separate questions, separate information. So if you needed that kind of feature, the system can do that. And this is all a word merge type of structure. You got different types of word merges that you can use on the system, and it's color coded. Only this conference gets this information on the welcome page. Attendee view. This red one is global for speakers. So this is just a way to set up your welcome page on your conference. Registration types, you can have as many registration types as you want. You can have membership verified types, you can have non-membership verified types, you can have student types, you can have as many as you need, and you can even say speakers can only see this one. So it just gives you options, and everything's broken down in individual pieces. So you can say early price is $2, add $1 for being late, and then it tells you the regular rate, what the fees are. You don't have to, but you can have taxes for registration, meals, meal tax. So these are different types of costs that you can automatically break down if you need to. Now we're going to go to promos. Promos are pretty easy. It's just a simple, you can create promos and have dates that the promo is available. You can have in-stock amounts of that promo, and these promos can be only speakers, only attendees, so whatever type you want. You can have the promo code show up on the conference submission page, or you don't have to have it show up. A lot of people don't want a promo code showing up, a promo box, because you don't want your attendee to start hunting for a special coupon code that doesn't exist for them. Items for sale. So this is items for sale and free items. So you can have items that cost or free items, and again, different tax rates for them, or you don't have to have a tax rate. You can have 0% tax. You can also have, if you want someone to donate money, you can have you enter it right here, 9999, and you can say, please donate for the conference, and it'll have a custom text box for the client to enter what they want to donate. So there's different options for you there. And again, you can have cost. Banquet tickets, I have 186 in stock. Once they get out of stock, it'll say out of stock for the customer. And here's a workshop. Workshops are neat because you can create a bunch of workshops and have date, time specific workshops. And what's really nice about this is you can have two workshops and say they're overlapping a little bit. It'll warn your customer. It'll say, hey, these two workshops are overlapping. Do you still want to add both of these workshops? And they can say yes or no. And the reason why we give the attendees this option is because sometimes attendees want to see both of those workshops, and they'll kind of sneak out of one to go see the other one. So that's why we don't stop the customers from adding it to the cart. We just want to give them the information that these two workshops may overlap. And like I said, that's on your setup. You can say, these two overlap or they don't overlap. Additional questions. You can have as many additional questions as you need, and they are radio button list, checkbox list, checkbox. So requirements, is this question required? Is this question an abstract related question? Is this question going to be filterable on the reports? So these are things you can set up, and once they're set up, it's done. So the next conference, the next year, you just say clone, and it will clone everything, including the additional questions, over to the new system. And you don't have to set this up again. It's a one setup and you're done. And any questions you see in here, you can click the preview up here just to see what the question would look like to the attendees. Nice, easy, and like I said, once you set this up, you don't have to set it up again. It's automatically on there. We just hit the clone, and it will clone it to your next year's conference. Surveys are tied to the conference also, so that way you can ask at the end of the conference, send a little survey out to have them say what was good, what was not. It also has a dynamic survey, so you can tie these surveys to the conference website, and they can open up on their tablet or their phone, and you can have games tied in during the conference, or ask them during a conference the surveys. And gamification. Again, you can have games on your conference, like under the main entrance, what letter is in the red box, and whoever gets all of them, they win a prize at the end of the conference. And again, these are anything you want to set up or ask, you can set it up here. Radio button list, checkbox list, text box, anything you can think of, you can add it there. And if your conference forum has a different portal for attendees and speakers, you can set it up here. I'll turn that off now. And now the speaker portal is closed. So you can turn on and off these portals at any point. And you don't have to have a speaker access point if you don't want to. Test mode. So once you set up your conference, you'll throw it in test mode, and test mode lets you walk through the entire forum and pay a registration, and you can see everything going really good before you send this to your customers. And then once you're done, you'll delete all the test records, and it'll only delete the test records. So it's a nice way to do some tests on your portal before you send it to the attendees. And conference website admin. So this is pretty simple. You have a core template, which is your header piece that comes from your conference website. And again, once your new conference year comes up, you just point this website to your new conference portal, and it automatically will grab the new data from your new conference portal. So it makes it pretty easy to update your year-over-year conferences. And the reason why we keep the same conference URLs year over year is so that you get better SEO rankings. You don't want to create a new conference portal for a conference website every single year, because your search engine optimization for Google is going to tank and nobody's going to see your conference. We want your conference to build every year. And that's why we keep one conference website, and we just change the data for it year over year. So that way your conference will always be building bigger and bigger in Google, and every single year you'll get a bigger conference. And you can see an example. So you can see the pages, and you can see really how fast this site reacts. They're very fast. And when you shrink this down, it automatically becomes mobile responsive. Nice, easy. Contact us. This is nice because you don't want to put your email out on a website, because now you're going to get a bunch of spam to your email. And the more and more we can keep your email from being listed on a website, the less spam you're going to get. So that's why we don't make you put an email anywhere. We have a contact us form. That way they can contact you directly through the portal, and your email is not being spammed out in the world. On any of these pages, let me show you this real quick. Here's a demo site. You can have your program, and like I said, this program is being pulled from your conference, your current conference. You can have a conference essentials page. This is where your attendees would have to log in and be able to access the secured data. Also, you see the sponsors. So you see sponsors here, 1, 2, 3. And if you go to the main page here, you'll see platinum supporters, sponsors. You'll see this important dates, conference blog. These are all dynamic pieces. These all are automatically updated whenever you point your conference website to the new year's conference submission portal. That way you don't have to write this stuff. You don't have to remember to change things. It'll automatically put it on here for you. Now, if we go to pages, so here's where your website is, and you can see about us, about the society program, about us, about the society program, and you can set up multiple things here. You can say, here's your dynamic piece for the program. You can have a menu text URL. And the reason why we give you this is we want this website to be search engine optimized. That way Google will see this site and say, this is a really good structured site. It is, compliant with everything. We're going to list this website, and every year it will grow. So that's the reason why we give you a lot of controls and tools, and it's automatically using the correct form. Like this is an H1 tag. This is the proper URL structure for good SEO. If you have shared content, there's just multiple ways that you can do things. And here's the word merges on your conference website. And again, because you have all these word merges, you don't have to update your conference website every single year. You can just use word merges that merge from your conference submission site, your portal, and just merges them all in here. I know this is a lot to take in, but it's pretty easy once it gets going. And then your second year, it's literally you clone your conference submission site and you point your conference website to the new form. It's really easy. It can feel a little overwhelming. So that is it. There's a lot involved here, I know, and believe me, it's really simple once your initial year is set up. And like I said, we set up almost everything for your initial year, and then the next year it's just click a button to clone it over into your new year. So that's it. And if you like what we're doing here, please contact us, because we can also add other custom things, because our goal is we want nonprofits to have a lot of capabilities and a lot of abstract capabilities. And that's my goal, because I've worked with the nonprofit world. I actually worked at a nonprofit, FASB, for I think it was 17 years, and I really loved it there. But I wanted to expand my knowledge and everything and give it to more societies, and that's what we're doing here. Our goal is to give these types of tools to everybody and not charge a lot, because I know I worked there for 17 years, and during the process, things are tight, money's tight, and you shouldn't have to break the bank to get all the tools. That's why when you pay $6 per submission, you pay it and you get all the tools. There is no minimum, so you can have 50 registrants and get all the tools. You get a conference website, and you can have 100 registrants and get all the tools. So there's no difference on that. And that's the goal. Is I want everybody to have all the tools possible.